मिलेगा इतना कंटेंट?
शिवसेना बीजेपी से
Political satire is often seen as a sign of a healthy democracy, a tool that questions authority, exposes hypocrisy, and encourages political awareness. But in India, comedy that targets those in power often comes at a cost. Now, stand-up comedy is relatively new to India. Comics only began to think of it as a career in the 2010s. But in just 2 decades, comedians travel more to fight defamation battles throughout the country rather than performing in front of sold-out crowds. Now this time around, comedian Kunal Kamra is facing the brunt. Kamra now finds himself under investigation after making a joke about an influential lawmaker, a lawmaker who runs the financial capital of India, Eknath Shinde. And it's not just Kamra. Many other well-known comics like Munawar Farooqi and Samir Raina have faced legal battles, public outrage, and even death threats for their jokes. So now, the questions remain. Has India lost its humor? And how does India's approach to political comedy compare to other democracies like the United States and the UK? Now, Kunal Kamra is a name synonymous with controversial comedy in India. His recent joke, an indirect dig at Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, has sparked outrage among right-wing supporters, leading to violent protests and a police investigation. Now, what followed was chaos. An angry mob stormed the comedy venue where Kamra performed, vandalizing the space in retaliation. However, Kamra is standing his ground, refusing to back down. Now, Kamra has always been critical of India's ruling dispensation, the Bharatiya Janata Party. But his case is just one chapter in a larger story. Now, India's constitution guarantees freedom of speech under Article 19(1)(a), but this comes with several restrictions. Article 19(2) allows for limits in the name of public order, defamation, and morality. In 2021, comedian Munawar Farooqi was arrested, and this was for allegedly making offensive jokes before he even got on stage. That same year, Veer Das faced backlash for a monologue addressing India's rape crisis and farmer demonstrations. Now, politicians demanded his arrest, accusing him of defaming the country. Last month, comedian Samir Raina was also in legal hot waters. He was facing the brunt from politicians, police, and society after a fellow judge on his show, India's Got Latent, made a controversial joke. And this is not just happening in BJP-ruled states. In West Bengal, the ruling Trinamool Congress is also not a fan of political satire. A person was arrested just for posting a meme on Mamata Banerjee. On top of that, a professor was just arrested for forwarding it. You see, beyond legal restrictions, there's this deep psychological reason why people take offense at political satire. People see their political leaders as an extension of their own beliefs. When comedians mock politicians, it feels like a personal attack rather than a joke. Many also experience discomfort when their beliefs are challenged, leading them to dismiss satire as offensive. And interestingly, authority figures like politicians are often placed on pedestal. Criticizing them through humor is seen as disrespect rather than democratic discourse. But in the world's leading democracies, satire isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated. From the sharp monologues of American late-night hosts to the biting humor of British panel shows, political comedy is a key part of public discourse. So how does the rest of the world handle political humor, and what lessons can India learn? Now, of course, many of you might say that we are the media elite who often uses Western culture as the benchmark for everything. Now, whether you like it or not, Western democracies have long established traditions of political satire with legal protections. And if there's one place where political comedy thrives, it is the United States. American shows like Saturday Night Live, The Daily Show, and Last Night Tonight with John Oliver make a living out of mocking presidents, Congress, and policies. Take the recent SNL skit on Trump-Zelensky meet, for example. The show mocked sitting US President Donald Trump and his Vice President JD Vance on how they handled the meeting with Ukrainian President. Of course, backlash exists even in these countries. Comedians often face online hate or boycotts, but over there, political satire is a staple of democracy, not a crime. In UK, satire shows like Mock the Week and Have I Got News for You openly roast leaders, including the Prime Minister. And even the UK Parliament has a history of allowing sharp criticism. Now, satirical magazines like Private Eye mock politicians with brutal honesty, and surprisingly, most leaders take it in stride. France has one of the strongest satirical traditions in the world. Charlie Hebdo, a magazine known for its controversial cartoons, has faced lawsuits, bans, and even violent attacks. While hate speech is restricted, political satire is not. The French stand by their belief that humor, even when offensive, is a form of resistance. So what makes these countries different? Well, a culture of tolerance, legal protection for satire, and most importantly, people who can take a joke without turning it into a national crisis. In these countries, humor isn't seen as a threat to stability. It's a way to keep leaders on their toes. In fact, in some places, the best way to know if you are a relevant politician or not is if you've been roasted on Saturday Night Live. Now, historically, satire and humor has always been a part of public discourse. A Times Magazine report from 1978 claims that 80% of all stand-up comedians in the United States were Jewish. So either Jews got funnier or they were just funny all along and nobody noticed. For decades, oppressed communities like the Jews have used humor as both a shield and a weapon. They were secure enough to make fun of themselves. So at the end of the day, the real question isn't whether India is ready for satire or not. It's whether India is mature enough to handle it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned to India Today Global, where we simplified geopolitics for you.